We need you to. Hello, everybody. Back again to our usual slot on a Thursday at 1 o'clock. And today we've got a fabulous guest who I'm going to tell you about in just a second. First thing I wanted to say was that the code TF20 to get your 20% off site-wide ends tonight at midnight. So if you want to get a 20% discount, order whatever you need before midnight tonight, because then it will go back to full price. My other quick mention is just about what I'm wearing today. So as we all know, it's baking hot. And this dress is just heaven to wear on a hot day, because I don't know, for me, there's nothing worse than tightness when you're hot. I always just want to be in something loose and floaty. So this dress is called the Isla Mini, but as you can see, it's not like too mini. And it's got a lovely hand-drawn rainbow print, which you can see there. So, and it's made of silk voile, which is a combination of silk and cotton. And even more exciting, you can twirl in it, which, you know, I like a twirl, people. Also, really good for those big lunches, because we've got room in here. We've got room for a breeze to kind of cool us down. Anyway, on to my guest. So today's guest is Dominique Rollins, otherwise known as Brown Paper Styling on Insta. She is a fabulous stylist and luxury brand consultant. So welcome, Dominique. Are you there? No, we're just waiting for her to come in. No request yet from her.
I'm here.
Yay! Hello, beautiful. How are you?
It's so nice to see your face.
So nice to see you too, and I'm loving the red.
Oh, thank you. I have to do a red lip for you, of course.
You really work a red lip well. I don't tend to work a red lip quite so well.
I will take your I'll take it as a challenge, because I always can find the right red lipstick for my sisters. I always find a good red lip. It's just finding the right shade.
We're red lip shopping soon.
Yes, exactly.
So just one of the things, so we can't see all of you, my darling. So just, yeah, much better.
Yeah, okay.
So one of the things I just wanted to start by discussing, I mean, I know we're not kind of a political platform or anything like that, but I just think if we don't mention it, it's a little bit odd. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on the whole, you know, Black Lives Matter movement, and how you have, you know, what effect it's had on you during your career.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's would be strange to not address it, considering we're in such a fabulous position to discuss it from Black designer to kind of Black stylist employee. And as you know, I know we've spoken about it before, but it has, you know, it has been a challenge. And as you're navigating, you're trying to navigate your career, I have always felt like I've also had to kind of navigate that political workspace as well. And, you know, politics already exists within the office, you know, you've got dynamics, etc. But when you're sort of layering that on top of these ideas of microaggressions and kind of realizing that everyone will love you to a point, or, you know, it has meant that I've spent, you know, the better part of 12 years plus in the industry, really having to pick my words super carefully, really navigate my emotions adequately in the workplace, because I realized that for some reason, we're never given the benefit of the doubt. And so it's been a very, you know, and I've been quite lucky, I think, in the sense that I think I am quite an open book. I am very, I do sort of drive my personality home. So I find that I have spent a lot of time sort of really kind of getting the nuance and kind of getting the balance, but also at the same time, it's exhausting to have to do that as well.
Very tiring.
Right? So
it's just another agenda that you take into the room.
Exactly. And so when you're
other people don't have to think about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you're giving an opinion, but you're like, you know, does the tone sound right? Is it okay? Am I going to be perceived as confrontational?
Oh, totally.
You know, being a manager as well has also had those kind of trials and tribulations of dealing with staff and kind of knowing that you might be in a situation sometimes where people are not liking what you're saying, and then they reduce you down to stereotypes. You know, and funny enough, you know, I speak with them. I'm very close with my grandmother, and she also was a manager in a very different field, and she used to find the same things. And you know, she was managing a ward of 25 people, which was kind of unheard of in sort of the 70s and 80s. You know, she would constantly find these situations very difficult to navigate. And you know, 2020, we're still here. So with the movement coming, I'm excited because I feel like finally brands are actively at least acknowledging the bias and, you know, hiring, how that works in the workplace, how we choose content, how we consume content as well, I think is very, very interesting. You know, it's very hard to have a dynamic look of diverse faces if actually you're only ever geared to looking at things where they look like you. And so and this is essentially where I find the industry, that's their biggest downfall, is that we're only usually looking at things where they reflect what we look like, what we do, how we are. And so for some reason, you know, over the years, media, etc., has kind of like blacked us out. So literally, so we're finding this new scope of actually there's a plethora of amazing Black stylists, content contributors, designers, models, and we need to, like, you know, celebrate them in the way that we celebrate all the other amazing, fantastic, gorgeous models, talented creatives, etc., etc. So I'm really hoping that, you know, these companies aren't just talking about it, they're really addressing the situation, and they're not expecting their employees to solve it for them, they're addressing it for themselves.
Exactly. Well, you know, let's hope. You know, I have to hope that this is the generation that can change the narrative. But as long as I think we keep doing what we're doing, and I think that also it's really important for people like you and me to mentor younger creatives, to sort of say, because it's so hard to just get a seat at the table, even get into the room is really hard. So I think that's, you know, that's kind of our job. That's what we should be doing.
100%, absolutely. And we're seeing it in lots of other industries. Like I've noticed that with a lot of recently with a lot of Black actors, directors, they're really trying to bring that forward. You know, everyone's trying to let's bring everyone up together at the same time. And I think it's the same for fashion. You know, if anytime someone sort of wants to know how I got into styling, how do I navigate, I'm so open to giving them the time, just because I found that when I was in my 20s and I was trying to navigate the space, I didn't have a clue and I didn't have a mentor, and I wasn't even at the time necessarily so aware of the fact that maybe my look, as in the color of my skin, was actually getting in the way of people just seeing the talent. So now I want to really bring all these, you know, the younger generation into it and make sure that they don't feel alone, make sure that they're not navigating landscapes, you know, like minefields, and that it's just actually about the career. Let's focus. Let's do what we want to do.
No, and being willing to do the hard work and able to do the job.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I think, you know, I'm really glad we've sort of addressed that kind of briefly, but obviously now it's time for fashion.
The fun stuff.
You know what? It's really funny. I love the fact that we've just discovered this weird coincidence about each other. So you were saying your boyfriend is from Eritrea.
Yeah.
And I lived in Ethiopia for years when Eritrea was still part of Ethiopia.
Right.
So I think we've got to get together for an Eritrean meal.
I'm so down. I will have to absolutely take all the recipes from his mum and have her teach me. But yes, I'm down there. Absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. So take me through what you're wearing at the moment.
Cool, amazing. Let me just adjust a little so you can get a nicer, fuller thing. So I'm loving these pants, by the way. They're so fantastic. They are, and I love the fact that they're so long and tailored. They are really, they just give you like leg all the way up. And actually, you know, usually it's difficult to do prints, you know, especially when you're a petite person, you're doing it sort of like waist down. But actually, these are really, really lengthening. It's really, really smooth. I would wear these on holiday, to work, for drinks with friends, brunch, what have you. I think they're a real all-rounder, even though they are super bright and super jazzy.
And I like the fact that you've got it with a white t-shirt.
Yeah, because I think sometimes you don't have to overcomplicate it, and sometimes it is just about sort of, you know, taking something that's really, really fun, paring it down, and kind of making it. Because, you know, I find sometimes when you love fashion, it's really easy, but sometimes kind of navigating different spaces, especially being in like London, you kind of tend to be like boardroom, but then home, and then, you know, you're in different parts of the city, which, you know, sometimes dictates how you want to dress. And actually doing the white t-shirt vibe with a little mule is actually really, really easy. But actually these easily would go great with a loafer, with a flat sandal, a little boot, if you want to sort of take.
Who have you got on?
I'm doing, I will show you my, these are just, they go with everything, and they're really high.
I have coveted that shoe for a very long time.
Me too. I will be really honest. I've been coveting them for ages, and then my friend forced me to go to Bicester, so she forced me to get them. You know, strong armed me and everything.
I know, you're like, no, don't take me to shops, discount
I'm
shops.
putting out the card already. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bless you.
But what I really love about these trousers as well is that you can really take them into that kind of like, you can really elevate it into kind of a real party look.
Yeah.
Or an event look or something like that. So I'm going to take off the t-shirt and we're going to show you a little jazzy number.
Fabulous.
1 sec, I'll be right back.
Fabulous. While you're gone, I just want to ask you a little bit more about your career. So styling, kind of, I think most people know what that involves.
Yeah.
But in terms of being a luxury brand consultant, explain that.
So it's a really funny thing. Once you find that you are in a situation where you've kind of gone into that digital space, you do tend to find that you're working actually on lots of different situations. So there's a little bit of marketing in what I do. There's digital content in what I do. There's communication and clientele experience that all kind of comes as a melting point. And so it's actually allowed me to work with small brands and elevate their business, whether it's from a customer point of view or whether it's from a
Dominique, sorry, I'm just going to say a really quick thing, which is, I'm really sorry about this drilling sound, but of course, someone in the road has just started drilling. So, can you not ask them, who is it? Just ask them for 20 minutes, please. Okay, perfect. Hopefully they will agree to just stop for a bit because it's very distracting to everyone listening. Sorry, sweetheart, I interrupted you.
No, not at all. So as I was saying, yeah, I've kind of worked in all these different areas, and I've been really lucky working with so many different companies that have allowed me to flex my muscles in events and doing great trunk shows. Also taking the idea of a concept of business and bringing it to different countries and enhancing the customer interaction for an online business. So I now work with small brands to support them doing that, whether it's kind of bringing the awareness to the UK and the US, or if it's essentially just getting them to a point where they feel really confident with their clientele and who they're selling to, and enhancing that audience and reaching that audience. So it's really, really exciting that I've been able to kind of work in these different spaces. And so no day's the same. It's always different. It takes you to different cities, takes you to different countries. I mean, it's fab, you know, and means I've been so flexible, which means I can pick and choose entirely. And also the brands are able to kind of say, well, this is what we really need from you now, but maybe something else later. And sometimes, you know, we adjust the package, we adjust, you know, what they need, because as your business grows, you need different things. And I'm really fortunate that I can sort of tap into a few of those.
So you're basically sort of smoothing the journey for them and giving them the advice that they need. Oh, okay. Let's
exactly.
I just got a flash.
So this is my my afternoon delights, evening delights. Look, I just think it's a really easy way to take, if you're wearing this for work and you want to go out on a Friday, because now apparently we can sort of do that, I think. Don't quote me.
It's a bit confusing.
But I just think it's a really great way to go with a little jacket over, so you don't have to feel too exposed or what have you. And, you know, keeping the bag teeny tiny is always really, really helpful. But it just takes like a very kind of like great trouser that I might have been working to work, and then I've made it into like a really amazing evening situation. And so,
Yes,
and
sort of
because
sex stuff.
everyone's loving crop tops, well, everyone's loving crop tops now, and I really wanted to be involved. So I'm saying you can be 30 plus and do a crop top.
You're extraordinary with what you can manage to pull off.
Thanks. Thanks. And then the other thing I really love about Lisou actually is that you guys love print exclusively. It's such a, colour and print. And as you said earlier, anything that's colourful brings you joy, and I completely agree. I think I'm always so much happier when I have, black is great because it's easy, but actually print is where the fun comes in. That's what people want you to do. So the other side of it is that I would also kind of feel like, you can mix a couple of prints together.
Yeah. Well, you know how I love the colour clash. You're talking to the right audience.
Yeah. I love a colour clash. If it works, it works. I'm not going to apologise about it. And actually, I would love to show you another little colour clash or a print clash that I've been playing with.
Can we just see what you've got, that shirt, close up, so that people can just see?
Yeah, so this is the heart print.
Yeah,
this is the same print as your dress, right? Yeah, and then you've got these zigzags, which I love, which is amazing. So, okay, I'm going to do another costume change.
Okay, perfection. So going back to styling.
Yes.
So are you mostly styling private individuals or well-known people, or just a little bit of everything?
It's kind of a little bit of everything. I've always kind of mixed with the celebrity type clientele, even from sort of Topshop days. Topshop was such a huge inspiration for that kind of bridging the gap between high street and luxury. So, on an average day, you might see Florence Welch, you might see Kate Moss, Ronnie Wood has come in for some styling.
Oh, wow.
Which was very, very interesting and hilarious.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because he's just very easygoing. He doesn't care. And so we got there, and it's, anytime that you have a celebrity, it gets very technical for the team. Yeah. And so we made a big thing about getting him in so nobody would see him. And then he was like, "Oh, I really want a cigarette." So I had to escort him to the loading bay. And at one point, I just remember thinking, I could have been having a cigarette with Ronnie Wood. My nan's gonna die about this. She's seen the Rolling Stones in concert as a teenager, so what can you do? But I mean, he's lovely, and it's really fun. So you again had this really amazing experiences, and again, I think even Khalees has come in, Beyonce.
Oh my God! Stop! You met Beyonce.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. Can you imagine? I wasn't in that day, and I never forget my manager was telling me.
Stop it!
She called the team at about 4 o'clock and said, "I'm coming in an hour on a Saturday in Oxford Circus." Can you imagine?
Oh my God! Just beyond, really.
Yeah, I mean, insane. But she loved it, and she apparently couldn't have been more gracious. So, and I love when I hear that people you like are really nice.
Yeah, I know, because it can be disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the rest of my clientele, I mean, it's a real mix: princesses, princes, lawyers, directors, CEO. It's a real mixed bag, which is really exciting all the time, because it just means that you're able to flex your muscles, and also it's that lifestyle, and so you're adjusting like pieces that you love into their lifestyle without making them sort of having to change their personality, which is really what I think my job is about. It's not about me making them look like someone else. It's about them being themselves and feeling really comfortable, but having fun with it as well.
Yeah, and also people are really time poor, so I'm guessing that when you're doing lawyers and private clients like that, it's just because they don't have time to go shopping and think about it.
100%. Like, usually that is our main thing, especially once you're dealing with a real online international client base. It's usually because they're super time poor, they love fashion, or they at least love style. Sometimes I think it's more about style. they know what they like, but actually what they need is someone to give them the updates and kind of understand what they look like, what they're looking for, and how it incorporates into their lifestyle. And so sometimes that means working with the client in Australia who kind of loves fashion but wants to pare it down a little bit for the Melbourne crowd, or maybe it's for the Middle Eastern princess who is, you know, going to Mykonos for a 5-week, you know, vacation, and she wants to kind of really look the part. So you tend to mix and match, and sometimes, you know, it's really great because you find that you're actually using pieces over and over again, but for every client it's different. It's a different style, it's a different fit, it's a different feeling in total. It's not just about the styling, it's just about what energy they bring to those pieces.
Okay, take us through the next funky outfit.
So I'm actually going to change a shoe because I like to have options.
I love this because we have very different sense of style, so I just think it's so nice. Like, I don't know what you're going to put with what, but I'm loving it.
Yeah. So here I've just put on like a really flat mule. I'll show you them in a sec, but I just feel, again, with this high-waisted skirt and having that kind of sort of faux dropped waist, super elongating, gives you lovely lines, and then kind of mixing it with a similar shirt again, but having those colours.
I'm loving
it.
It's
super cute.
Oh, hello, that bottom. That's all I'm going to say.
It's white. And I love it because it's white, so it doesn't actually feel like you're doing too much print because of the base, but actually you're clashing 2 prints. You've got all the colours, and then you've actually got lots and lots of room to play with other colours as well. So if you like pair it back with a black shoe, what have you, it's easy. But you could easily do a red shoe if you really wanted to pick up the colour. I've got these really cute.
I love a red shoe.
Red. I mean, I would do this with a red
wow.
just to kind of really lift the pink.
Yeah.
Make it really exciting. And, you know, for the girl that's not necessarily looking for a shoe or a boot or a heel, then it also would work really well like with a sneaker. And
I love that you said that because that's often how I wear it.
Yeah. I'm running around London. I don't have time to wear heels.
I know, right?
So it's that kind of vibe. But I think this is such a great look, especially if you work in an office, but it's not, you know, too strict or what have you. And even if it is, you can pair it back to your white blouse. If you really don't want to do the print, or a white t-shirt. Again, it's really simple.
Yeah.
It's really
in the summer when it's warm like this, I quite like that skirt with just like a really kind of generic white trainer and t-shirt.
Exactly. And it's like, and it literally feels like, I mean, it's so breezy. This is the kind of thing I would wear today on a really hot day. If I wasn't doing this, of course.
Excellent. Excellent. I love you in that. And I love the fact that you've done the collar up.
Yeah, I love a collar up. I get told off about it all the time. They're like, why you got your collar up? And I'm like, I've done this since I was a teenager. I always used to have my blazer up or my denim jacket up. And to this day, I still wear everything up, and everyone's like, oh, I'll put your collar down. I'm like, no, it's there. It's on purpose.
Do you know what I think it partly is? I think it's partly having very short hair. Because I find with certain jackets, they just look so much better if I just have the collar up.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, and also I think because I don't have much of a neck, it just allows me some space there.
Yeah.
To just kind of, because sometimes otherwise you kind of look a bit like sort of it's sunken into your shoulders, and having the collar up, I feel a bit more, you know. Yeah. I'm always trying to look for length, really, because I don't have any of it.
Well, do you know what's really lovely is that because of the stripe on the shirt, that's a wider stripe, and then the zigzags I've had sort of coming down because instantly you just look taller.
Oh, good.
So, and not all of it, it's a slimming thing to have a stripe that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I love stripes full stop. I will, like, whatever the stripe, whichever the way, I love it. I think it's really important. But I think that there's a real thing about, it's not just about whether it goes horizontal or vertical, but like you said, whether it's narrow or wide can always change the vibe, the feeling. So it's clever.
It's rather clever. So I could talk to you literally all day long.
Me too.
But I'm being told that we're running away with our time.
Oh my goodness. Do we have time?
Do you want to do one more outfit?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. While you're changing, I wanted to ask you, I mean, I love the Ronnie Wood story, don't get me wrong, But have you got any other interesting, funny, I mean, obviously you don't have to mention a name, but, or nightmare situations that you've had doing your job in terms of styling?
I mean, so many. I could write a book and I probably would still have some for a part two. I'm trying to think what I have.
That's what you do, write a book. That would be hilarious.
I mean, I would, I just think the chronicles of fashion, because the things that people don't realize is that it looks super, super glamorous. But the fact of the matter is, 5 minutes before it is glamorous, everyone is freaking out. I remember doing an event in Cheshire with my sort of some of my favorite teens from Net-a-Porter, and we went to Cheshire. We had a lovely client who offered her house, and she kind of lives in that beautiful area where it's basically Mansions Row.
Yeah.
And, so we're excited. We know that we're in a really unique position. Real Housewives of Cheshire was just about to begin. They actually asked to film, but we had to decline. And we've had, footballers' wives and people in the industry. And so it was exciting. But we had so much stock that we were, I think, up until 2 o'clock in the morning the day before, merchandising, steaming, getting rid of the plastic. And I'll never forget my client manager at the time sort of just going, power through. And I was on a floor in the middle of clothes and shoes with a cold, like basically literally I was, sorry.
No, it's okay.
And I was, it was really funny because I actually had flu, or the beginnings of flu, and I was just like, I just need to get through it, and it's going to be fabulous, and it's going to be fine. And we were, a mess, and we had all this, we were just, turning over the stock, but the clients were loving it. They had the champagne. They had no idea that we were essentially going upstairs to like cry a little bit, come back downstairs.
That
moment, got more sizes.
Well, it's that moment where you're like, if I ever see a steamer again, it'll be too soon. And
this is the thing. I think 12 years in this business, I'm still steaming. So
yeah, same.
There's never a time, and I love it when I have like newbies and they're like, oh, it's going to be so glamorous. And I say, it's not that. I'm going to tell you now.
Yeah.
There's going to be 10% glam, and the rest of it's going to be pretending it's glam. But if you love it, you love it. You won't care. Yeah. Half the fun is actually getting to unpack the clothes, do the merchandising, trying all the jackets. In what other situation as a 25-year-old do you get to try and Balmain and Versace and Dolce, and you're wearing amazing pieces, and then you get to sell them to clients, talk to them about clients. And if you love fashion and you grow up with it in a way that it kind of just goes hand in hand, you won't care actually about the steaming. But
no.
Steaming 400 pieces, maybe.
Yeah, you beat me on the steaming level, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So talk us through this little gorgeous number.
So I have to say, do you know what? I'm not usually someone who always goes for a belted dress, just because I have this really odd torso situation that I find it's quite hard to get it in the right place. So, but yours actually fits perfectly. It's like exactly how I would wear it. Usually what I would do is I would take it out and do another belt, because I tend to find that it's really difficult to get it just in the right place where you don't look like you're either trying to keep everything in, or it just cuts you in the wrong place. But this actually is fantastic.
Well, I think the trick is, whether you're tall or short, if you have a waistband that literally sits on your waist, that is your smallest part. Yeah. So you immediately kind of just, get that classic out shape.
I mean, I have to say, I feel a bit like Sophia Loren. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. That's a lovely compliment.
I mean, this is so beautiful. I love the fact that the fabric is like air.
Yeah.
So again, today I could wear it and I would feel awesome. I would feel like breezy. I've actually undone a lot of the buttons because I like to show a bit of leg.
I love it.
So, and it kind of just, also it means that I can do something like, I could actually go higher and make it super sexy, but then lower for work.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's,
the thing.
and
And
I've
what
done
could be easier than a shirt dress? I mean, if you don't want to wear the belt because you're hot, just take it off, and then it's just like a loose
exactly.
dress.
And it makes it so much easier. And so I've done it with like a cute little black pump because I think it keeps it really classic. The print is obviously speaking for itself. But I think what I would do, just because I love some extra colour, I might clash it with a really great bag print clash. So just
Love.
bringing it in and keeping it super, super, it's really fun, even with the black pump. And, you know, and then it's like, it feels almost holiday, but in London.
Yes, but can be formal. So that one is the Alexa dash print. And when you come close, we can see it's just rainbow coloured dashes coming all the way down.
So good.
Oh.
Perfect for June.
And headdress, take me through.
Oh, so this is my little Missoni number. She's very colourful, but I tend to find she works really well with other prints. So when I'm sort of not having a great throw day, this is my go-to. And I'm also someone who I tend to, because I'm running around a lot, sometimes just the practicality of my wardrobe is more about jeans and a great t-shirt, something that's really, really simple. So having like these types of accessories for me means that I get to elevate it and kind of be luxury, but without kind of taking it out on the ankles. So I always do like a turban or a head wrap, and then I'm a really big fan of adding like sunglasses to the look, so you can just keep it edgy, keep it a little funky, especially when you're wearing something, because I find that this style is the silhouette is a bit more ladylike, which I love. I like that you can sort of be a bit lady, etc., etc. But then if you do sort of really modern accessories,
you've made it kind of, you know, really cool and a little bit more edgy than, because you can wear it both ways.
And that's what I think is really important for your customer in particular, and most women actually. We can't just have one dress for one thing anymore. You know, it doesn't make sense. So I think if you can get at least two types of events out of the piece, obviously we want more, then I think you're golden. So if you think that you can wear this to work, to a garden event, but then also in the evening with something really sexy, you know, with a sexy shoe.
We just had someone buy it for a wedding, actually.
Perfect, exactly. And I think it works for all those things, and they'll be able to wear that after the wedding and feel fabulous. No matter, you know, you want that dress that in 4 years' time, in 10 years' time, someone's going, where's that from? That's amazing. And I think you get that.
Yeah. And you get to say, you're too late to the party.
Yeah, exactly. And also, can we talk about pockets?
Oh, I'm obsessed with a pocket on everything.
Me too.
We need something to do with our hands sometimes.
It's not about storing anything. It's just literally, like you said, because I'm a fidgeter. I touch my face all the time. And sometimes I just need to stand and just in the pocket. Yeah. Not on the phone. And I love that.
Oh my, well, you look like an African queen.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm learning from the best.
Oh, listen, again, as I said, could talk to you all day long, but yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. Thank you so much for agreeing to, you know, talk to us about what you do. Perfect guest.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope you'll have me again. I have loved it. When you first started this, I was like, this is so cool. This is so amazing. And then I was like, maybe I should start doing them. But then when you asked me, I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. I couldn't have thought of a better way to spend a Thursday, half an hour. So,
oh, you're so
exciting.
So kind. Well, sweetheart, have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Get out into that sunshine, because it
Absolutely.
is scorchio out there.
I'm about to put on some denim shorts, head right outside to the garden. I'm done.
it's I went for a run this morning. I was like,
yeah.
So probably not the best day, but listen, have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us.
Honestly, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rini, for inviting me. I've had so much fun. And
we'll get together super soon.
Absolutely, because we need to do the cocktails and also the Eritrean bit. So that's what we're doing. Okay.
All right, my darling.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. See you soon. Bye. Oh, has she gone? Yes. So just to wrap up, join us next Thursday. Don't forget that the TF20 giving you 20% off is valid until midnight tonight. So if you're lounging around the garden, a little bit bored, do some shopping or do something that makes you feel happy, because we are in these very, very strange times. So I'm going to sign off, say bye-bye to you all.